I mean, moving on to the north, let's go to Winterfell. Jon Snow, Sansa Stark, Little Lyanna Mormont, Littlefinger. A lot of folk in Winterfell at the end of season 6. Jon Snow elected King of the North, despite not really being interested in the job. Which probably even noticed that, like, that's his pattern.
It really is.
Like, he didn't want to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Just like, no, you're it.
Just begrudgingly takes on all these high-ranking...
And then, like, he was dead, and they brought him back to life without his consent, and then now he's King of the North. Like, it's almost a running gag how passive Jon Snow is in the major events of his life. But he's King in the North now. Yeah. What is his next move?
Ooh, that's good. See, I think that what Jon does depends on, and I'm going out here with this, but I think it depends a lot on what Littlefinger does. Because Littlefinger's had his, ways of kind of controlling things. He knows how the game works, and everything like Littlefinger wants to happen seems to happen in one way or another. Yeah. And I think that no matter what Jon wants to do, whether it's rule in the North, whether it's, rally the troops or whatever, I think that he needs to get over the Littlefinger hump first, because Littlefinger's so focused on the power and focused on Sansa, working that in any way that he can. I think at some point that's going to come up, and no matter what Jon does, he needs to get rid of that first, because it's just going to be the thorn or the monkey wrench that keeps, gumming up the works until it goes the monkey's paw. So I think Littlefinger is going to play a large role in whatever Jon wants to do, just because Littlefinger's always played a large role. That's
a great point. And I mean, and Littlefinger does have an army under his control, the Knights of the Vale. Those are his. And there was that bit in the trailer where Jon Snow, shoved Littlefinger up against a wall, which, I mean, I was reminded, remember that bit in season 2 when Cersei, mock executed him? Yeah. Told his guards, hold him. Nah, don't execute him, I'm fine. He's been manhandled before. Yeah. It's the first time, but I wonder if that will make an impression on Littlefinger. Jon manhandling him a little bit and roughing him up.
It could. I again have to go with, I think, first time it happened with Littlefinger, he was shook, but this time he sees whatever light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, the point is, he got through that just fine.
And I think it made him stronger, so now he's just going to be, whatever Jon does.
I'm not sure a little manhandling is going to really put Littlefinger off course. No. It's full measures with this guy.
Yo, big time. It's just like Cersei, whatever happens with his end game, whatever's going to happen to him, it's going to be large, it's going to be grand. It's not going to be some little thing, Littlefinger getting thrown up against the wall, being like, don't do this. That's not how it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to deter him. One other question about this is, so he's in the North, where Jon's whole thing is, we got to prepare for the White Walkers. That's what he's thinking about. Littlefinger's never, put them into his calculus. Littlefinger's all about, how do I get political power and control Westeros? Ice zombies have not been on his radar.
It's a curveball.
It's a huge curveball. Do you think he incorporates that in?
Ooh, I don't think so.
A man of reason like that?
How do you reason with that? I don't think you can reason with that. I think that might be the thing that undoes Littlefinger is...
I can see that.
He thinks he has it all figured out. He's a very smug individual who's...
But he didn't count on ice zombies.
He's always 2 steps ahead, and, 2 steps further is the ice zombies.
I mean, who could count on ice zombies? It takes a lot to convince of that.
That'd be a great scene, too. I was talking about, maybe the White Walker gets Cersei, and that's how she goes. What if the White Walker gets Littlefinger?
I mean, that's more likely, too, because he's a lot closer to them, geographically speaking.
And I
can see that being satisfying.
That's I can picture the scene in my head, he just, is down on the ground, and he sees the White Walker. Maybe it's the king, and it's, done.
No, I can only see that, because he's always been very focused on... Because Game of Thrones has the sci-fi, the fantasy bits, and the more political, realistic bits. And he's always been firmly in the realistic camp. Oh, yeah. And so if he ever brushes up against the fantasy bit, he might just be completely bewildered. Because that's just not in his Rolodex. Oh, no. The other big player in the North is Sansa. Yeah. Who is, kind of Littlefinger's partner / enemy / frenemy / gross crush / all of those things. How's she play into this? Why does she suffer Littlefinger to live after all this time?
That's a good question. And I think that this is a season where we might see Sansa's growth. I don't want to say peak or max out, but we're going to reach a point where Sansa is going to have to make a decision. We kind of saw this in the previous season. Who does she want to be? What kind of person, what kind of leader does she want to be? Does she want to be someone that is leading on her own, that is completely independent from everything else, and has really come into her own as an individual and as a leader in the North? or is she going to let Littlefinger kind of, pull the puppet strings? Which is kind of, we're seeing a little bit of both. We saw her push back a little bit against Littlefinger at times, and then we also saw her let him, with the puppet strings. So that's going to be some kind of.
So at some point, it's going to have to come to a head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I wonder if Jon
can't go on forever.
Yeah, and I wonder if Jon might play a role in that too. Then maybe setting up some kind of either power struggle or collaboration between Sansa and Jon, because then she's got essentially the same problem. Not that Jon's trying to control her, but that she can't be her own leader and she can't really separate herself from everything without kind of this influence of other leaders. So.
And she's another one who I can't really picture like interfacing with the White Walker problem so much. Like she's kind of like Littlefinger in that she's been so focused on like the realistic side of the show that just confronting with Ice on, it's just like, what? I'm not going to think about that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how she'll react to that, but I'm curious to see where she goes this season, and whether this might be Littlefinger's or Sansa's last time in the show, because it seems like something has to give between those two. We'll find out what.
You really think it would be Littlefinger over Sansa?
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah.
I've grown fond of Sansa over the past couple of seasons, and Littlefinger's a douche. So I hope he's the one to go, but I don't know. Game of Thrones makes a career out of subverting our expectations. Admittedly, a little less so in the last couple of seasons, or at least the last season. But it might come back with that. It might have. I have a theory that the last season was very kind of straightforward, right? Yeah. Like Jon Snow beat the crazy sadist.
True.
And Cersei, beat the crazy religious types. And Daenerys came back and was triumphant, Marine, which is we're not really used to.
No.
I mean, we're more used to the good guys dying at the Red Wedding, or Jon Snow being killed by his own men, and Stannis burning his own daughter alive and then dying in a battle. So I wonder if that was either the new normal, or if that's them lulling us into a false insecurity and then bringing us back to more of the big twist we don't see coming. And I don't know. By the way, I just want to mention, I've already refilled my beer and you haven't even drank your first glass, but I'm going to do it again.
That's the downside of not having Kayla here. She keeps up. I can't.
No, I mean, I've said this before. Whenever I do this, I feel like a drunk. Like, I don't think of myself as a person who drinks, but apparently I'm paired to you and Kayla.
It's just so good, though. That's why everybody has to go out and get some. That's why.
Gang, bend the knee, golden ale. That's a spicy meatball.
At a store near you. It doesn't even have to be a liquor store. I saw it inside a Target. So
really?
There you go.